Yam Kriyate Rakshas Haryamam Kadapurvatam Najiri Shedi Navena Shasha Vishakamicha. Okay. Yadi.
Yadi.
If. I am. This Brahmana. Kriyate. Is accepted. Akshaha. As eatable. Tarhi. Then. Mam. Me. Hada. Eat. Purvataha. Before that. Na. Not. Jivishe. I shall live. Vina. Without. Yena. Whom? My husband. Kshanam. Shah. Even for a moment. More to come. A dead body. Yata. Light. Translation. Without my husband, I cannot live for a moment. If you want to eat my husband, it would be better for you to eat me first. For without my husband, I'm as good as a dead body. Please repeat. Without my husband, I cannot live for a moment. If you want to eat my husband, it would be better to eat me first. For without my husband, I am as good as a dead body. Great. Statement of devotion by the Brahmani for her husband. She's talking with a king who's been cursed to become a Rakshasa and is trying to appeal to him not to eat her husband. So, report by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. In the Vedic culture, there's a system known as sati, or saha marana, in which a woman dies with her husband. According to this system, if the husband dies, the woman will voluntarily die by falling in the blazing funeral pyre of her husband. Here in this verse, the feelings inherent in this culture are expressed by the wife of the Brahman. A woman without a husband is like a dead body. Therefore, according to Vedic culture, a girl must be married. This is the responsibility of her father. A girl may be given in charity, the husband may have more than one wife, but a girl must be married. This is Vedic culture. A woman is supposed to always be dependent. In her childhood, she is dependent on her father, in her youth on her husband, and in her old age on her elderly sons. According to Manu Samhita, she is never independent. Independence for a woman means miserable life. In this age, so many girls are unmarried and falsely imagining themselves free, but their life is miserable. Here is an instance in which a woman felt that without her husband, she was nothing but a dead body. Om Agyana Timaranyasya Yananjana Shlakaya Chakshurunitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vistaya Budale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravan joining Nirvisesh Srinivadi Paschatya Adishwani Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Bhuvanityananda Shri Vedagadadhar Shri Vasari Gauravan Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Chakalpakabhischa Kripa Sindhuvivacha Patitanam Pavanegyo Vaishnavego Namo Namaha. So this class is on Sri Dharma, the duty of the wife. I'm not a great authority on Sri Dharma, so I'll try to say something based on what we've heard over the last 40 years in Bhagavatam classes and what we've read in the Prabhupada's books. Go through the purport line by line and talk about the different points Prabhupada makes here. And also, apparently, it's the appearance day of Gopal Krishna Maharaj, so I will say a little bit about him and ask the people who know more about him than I do to say a few words. So, first of all, Prabhupada talks about this system known as Sati or Saha Marana, in which a woman dies with her husband. So there's different examples of that in the Srimad Bhagavatam, so I thought I would read one of those. This is in the pastimes of the Shaktivesh avatar, known as King Prithu. Prithu was empowered with Palana Shakti, the Shakti to rule. And he was an ultimate Vaishnava, and there's a whole nice chapter where he's visited by the Kumaras and he gets all these amazing instructions in devotional service. So he led a perfect life, and it talks about his wife, how his wife followed him. The wife of Prithu was named Archie. The queen, the wife of Prithu Maharaj, whose name was Archie, followed her husband into the forest. Since she was a queen, her body was very delicate. Although she did not deserve to live in the forest, she voluntarily touched her lotus feet to the ground. Although she was not accustomed to such difficulties, Queen Archie followed her husband in the regular principles of living in the forest like great sages. So this is the Vanaprastha ashram, actually, where the wife is still with her husband, but she performs austerities like he does. She lay down on the ground and ate only fruits, flowers, and leaves. And because she was not fit for these activities, she became frail and thin. Yet because of the pleasure she derived in serving her husband, she did not feel any difficulties. That's pretty amazing. She really had a great affection for her husband, and she dedicated her whole life to his service, and she derived such pleasure from that, she didn't feel any difficulties. So, of course, if your husband is a great Vaishnava, like Prithu Maharaj was, then being a completely dedicated servant of him is just like a disciple being a completely dedicated servant of the spiritual master. And by completely surrendering to a spiritual authority, we come up to the spiritual platform where one is situated in eternality, knowledge, and bliss. So she was on this blissful platform of devotional service, serving her husband, who is an ideal Vaishnava. When Queen Archie saw that her husband, who had been so merciful to her and the earth, no longer showed symptoms of life, she lamented for a little while, and then built a fiery pyre on top of a hill and placed the body of her husband on it. She says that she So that's pretty amazing. She actually built the funeral pyre of her husband. It's very amazing, very rare. So, after this, the queen executed the necessary funerary functions and offered oblations of water. After bathing in the river, she offered obeisances to various demigods situated in the sky and the different planetary systems. She then circumambulated fire, and while thinking of the lotus feet of her husband, entered its flames. After observing this brave act performed by the chaste wife Archie, the wife of the great King Prithu, many thousands of the wives of the demigods, along with their husbands, offered prayers to the queen, for they were very much satisfied. At that time, the demigods were situated on the top of Mandara Hill, and all their wives began to shower flowers on the funeral pyre and began to talk among themselves as follows. The wives of the demigod said, "All glories to Queen Archie. We can see that this queen of the great King Prithu, the emperor of all the kings of the world, has served her husband with body, speech, and mind exactly as the goddess of fortune serves the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Yagyesha, or Vishnu." The wives of the demigods continued, "Just see how this chaste lady Archie, by dint of her inconceivable pious activities, is still following her husband upward as far as we can see." So there's some more insight into this in the given in the purport to that particular verse. Both Prithu Maharaj's airplane and the airplane carrying Queen Archie were passing out of the vision of the ladies of the higher planetary systems. The ladies were simply astonished to see how Prithu Maharaj and his wife achieved such an exalted position. Although they were wives of the denizens of the higher planetary systems, and Prithu Maharaj was an inhabitant of an inferior planetary system, the Earth, the king along with his wife passed beyond the regions of the demigods and went upward to Vaikuntha Loka. The word Urdhvam, upward, is significant here for the ladies who are speaking from the higher planetary systems, which include the moon, sun, Venus, up to Brahmaloka, or the highest planet. Beyond Brahmaloka is the spiritual sky, and in that spiritual sky there are innumerable Vaikuntha Lokas. The word Urdhvam indicates that Vaikuntha planets are beyond or above these material planets. And it was to these Vaikuntha planets that Prithu Maharaj and his wife were going. This also indicates that when Prithu Maharaj and his wife Archie abandoned their material bodies to material fire, they immediately developed their spiritual bodies and entered spiritual airplanes which could penetrate the material elements and reach the spiritual sky. Since they were carried by two separate airplanes, it may be concluded that after they burned in the funeral pyre, they remained separate individual persons. In other words, they never lost their identity or became void as imagined by the impersonalists. The ladies in the higher planetary systems were capable of seeing both upward and downward. When they looked down, they could see the body of Prithu Maharaj was being burned and his wife Archie was entering the fire, and when they looked upward, they could see how they were being carried in two airplanes to the Vaikuntha Lokas. All of this is possible simply by Durvi Bhavyena Karmana, inconceivable activity. Prithu Maharaj was a pure devotee, and his wife Queen Archie simply followed her husband. Thus they can be both considered pure devotees. Thus they are capable of performing inconceivable activities. Such activities are not possible for ordinary men. Indeed, ordinary men cannot even take to the devotional service of the Lord, nor can ordinary women maintain such vows of chastity and follow their husbands in all respects. A woman does not need to attain high qualifications, but if she simply follows in the footsteps of her husband, who must be a devotee, then both husband and wife attain liberation and are promoted to the Vaikuntha Lokas. This is evinced by the inconceivable activities of Maharaj Prithu and his wife. So that's another piece of information we learned from that report, that the wife attains the same destination of her husband if she's just a faithful follower of her husband. She doesn't have to perform all the austerities that he performs, but if she just serves him nicely, she gets the result of doing all the same devotional activities. So that's on the topic of sati. So the woman feels like without her husband, she's like a dead body. So she's the role of the husband is that the husband is supposed to provide all the material and spiritual necessities for the wife. And the wife feels great gratitude for this service. Whatever she needs materially and spiritually is supplied without any endeavor on her part by her husband. and so she feels grateful for that and for his affectionate behavior and providing children for her. Need to have a husband, have children, all of these things. She feels great attachment and affection, and she feels, how can I possibly live without this person who's so nicely taken care of me for so many years? Prabhupada talks about how the women must be married. So in a human society, there's always a class of unscrupulous men who exploit women for their sense gratification. So to protect women from such exploitation by lusty men, they're married to some responsible man who will provide their material necessities and take care of them properly. And therefore it was enjoined that every woman get married to be protected from sexual exploitation by the class of degraded men. And she had 3 phases of life. Like we hear the men, they have these 4 stages: brahmacharya, grihastha, vanaprastha, and sannyasa. So the women have these 3 stages: being dependent on their father, being dependent on their husband, and being dependent on their elderly sons. This way there's no scope for them being exploited by unscrupulous men. So in the course of time, the husbands became incompetent, a certain percentage of them, and they didn't actually properly provide the material and spiritual necessities for their wives. So the women would think, what's the value of these husbands? Better I live on my own. So that spirit of independence among women has to result because of the men not doing their duties properly. So they feel they have to, there's no one to properly provide or protect them, so they have to protect themselves. But that's actually an artificial situation. So in the Vedic culture, everyone's supposed to do their duties, so that man has his duties and the woman has her duties, but all the duties are supposed to be performed as offerings to the Supreme Lord. There's a nice verse, 1846. Ita pravitra bhutanam ena sarvam idam tam svakarmanatam abhyaksha sindham bindati manava. By worshipping the Supreme Lord, who is the source of all beings and who is all creating, any person can attain perfection by performing their prescribed duties. So here, in the case of that I just read, Prithu and Archie, Prithu was the ideal Vaishnava, and the ideal Vaishnava Kshatriya, and his wife, the Queen Archie, was an ideal chaste follower of her exalted husband, and they both attained Vaikuntha Loka, showing the ideal example. So I think that's all I really can say about this, given that I only studied for 15 minutes because I wanted to chant 16 rounds and get at least 5 hours of sleep before I get to the class. So does anybody have any, and I wanted to upload my Harinam videos last night. Does anybody have any questions or comments or additional points they'd like to make regarding topics of today's verse? Everyone's trying to become ideal husbands and wives. Go back to Vaikuntha with your wife or husband. So the other thing was we were going to say something about the glories of Gopal Krishna Maharaj, which I do not know so much about. He was one of a very few Indians that Prabhupada encountered in the West, who were studying in the West, and became convinced by Prabhupada's preaching and purity to become his followers. And he did a lot of amazing work in India, especially in Delhi. Prabhupada wanted something like 20 temples in Delhi, and he was able to actually carry that out to have many, many temples in Delhi. He had there's the 9 different items of devotional service. He was really into Archana, and whatever temple he would travel from temple to temple, he would always offer the Mangalarti at whatever temple he was in. Even if he got in at 11 o'clock at night, he would still offer the Mangalarti in the morning. He set a real good example of how everyone should go to Mangalarti and everyone should be willing to offer arti to the deities. And he was also, we're building this amazing temple in Mayapur, and basically it's sort of the duty of every person or every temple to help out contribute to this. And he was always a great advocate of, I think, when Vyasa Puja, all the money that was given to him, he donated to the TOVP, because he really believed that everyone should support him. So those are a few things. I met him once in Washington, and he was he didn't know who I was, which is not surprising because I'm insignificant. But he was very friendly. I know in my little talk with him. But you must know a lot about him, Pastor Brian. Would you like to say a few words about Gopal Krishna Maharaj? Say again?
Probably is Prabhupada's master disciple.
Really? Well, would you like to say a few things about him? I'd give you my microphone, but I don't have one.
So, was born in Krishna consciousness under his shelter.
Oh.
Before I met my spiritual master, I used to see him. So he was practically like in all walks of life. He was very qualified. He was double MBA.
What?
He was like, when he's from a very rich family. Family for Indian Navy merchant Navy sailor. His family very rich, still very rich. And when he was young, he met Srila Prabhupada in Montreal, Canada. And then from Canada, he came to Paris to do his MBA here.
Really?
Sorbonne University.
That has a relationship with Paris? I didn't know.
Yes.
Wow.
They were trying, Lochan was trying to request him to come to Paris once before he left his body. But he was like, although I don't know how to say it in the right words, but just like an expert chess player, he's always 10 moves ahead than you. Maharaj was so expert in management, so expert in dealing with people that he was always 10 moves ahead than you.
That's amazing.
Him, because he has to do management without breaking that person. So he always knew what is going on between in the heart of that person. So we have so many of his like how he dealt with people in different situations. So practically Maharaj, in the times of Prabhupada also, he started printing books in India, distributing them, placing them in the libraries and everywhere. He was the reason practically like Delhi was #1 in 2 temple categories, large temple category and medium temple category. Our temple in Pajaiba, I guess since last 15-20 years, is #1 in medium temple category in book distribution. And for 6, 7, 8 years, the Eastern Klashta, the Santanagar temple was number one. Then Mayapur devotees asked Gopal Krishna Maharaj to come and help us. And since then, either Pune or Mayapur is number one in book distribution for the large temple category. So Maharaj has a very personal way of dealing with people. He always has time for people, although he was very busy. Wherever you go, whichever festival you go, you will find him. One place you will surely find him is in the Mangala Arati. Wherever he goes, he will do deity worship himself. He likes to do deity worship a lot. He has his personal, so many Shaligram, Shilas, his personal deities also. Despite having busy schedule, like, I saw him whenever when I was in Rohini, which is a very big. It's a temple in 2.5 hectare land.
Wow.
It's 5-story building. So
when was that temple?
Rohini.
When was it opened? Do you know?
It was opening in 2024.
Oh yeah, because I never saw that. I went to Ralph Yatra in Rohini one time, but I never.
That was the last temple I was.
Wow.
So whenever Maharaj used to come, like he always, if he's coming from some other temple, so at least it's a 2-hour, 3-hour, 4-hour, 5-hour drive. But he doesn't go to his room directly. As soon as he steps out, he goes to see the whole temple. What is the construction status? He asks people, how which marble you are using, what you are using, how you are getting money. And in the meanwhile, he met people also. So it takes around 1.5 hours to have a tour of the temple, to check all the construction. Then he goes to his room and then he meets people. Those who come. Then afterwards, after meeting all the disciples and people, if there is some big donor or somebody, after meeting them, then he takes prasad. Then he take a little rest, half an hour or so. Then again he start meeting people. So, and that too in a very personal matter. I would like to share one anecdote. That one time in Punjabi, in our temple in Punjabi, there was a devotee who was into fund collection. Krishna Shri Radha Radhikaram Krishna Temple and Vedic Education Center. That was the full name. So there was a devotee who was into fund collection, and somehow by influence of Maya, he was stealing money. So everybody get to know, the temple president get to know that they had a doubt before, and then they caught him. They got the proofs also from the person who gave the money, and he didn't submit it, he didn't provide the slip. So now president was already on his case. So then he caught him, like, now I caught you, stealing money. So the whole temple management was ready to throw him out. But before doing that, they thought, like, better we take him in front of Maharaj. So the meeting was set up. He was presented in front of Maharaj, and Maharaj asked him, "Did you steal money?" He said, "Yes, I did." Then Maharaj asked him, "Why you steal money?" So he said, "Maharaj, I'm a married man, and my salary is too less. I cannot manage things with my salary that is provided by temple." So Maharaj said, "That's okay. Increase his salary and change the temple."
Increase what?
Increase the salary
Okay.
by 5,000 rupees and change his temple. Send him to somewhere else.
Okay.
Maharaj's policy was, and temple manager was like, "Oh, what are you doing? You steal money and you are increasing his salary." So Maharaj's policy was that if he throw him out, he will lose. He will not perform devotion service.
Right.
We will totally lose him.
Right.
So that's his mercy. Never. No matter what you do, even if some brahmachari do some nonsense or something, he will not banish them. He will just try to make sure that he keep on performing devotional services one way or another. Change the temple or change something. One time in the east of Kailash Santanagar temple, it's a big temple on a hill.
Yeah.
You've been there, I guess.
Several times, yeah.
So somehow there was a female dog who gave birth to so many puppies in the temple compound.
Hmm.
So Maharaj complained to the managers that, what are you doing? There's so many puppies, and they will touch the devotees, they will touch the pujaris, they will get contaminated, and they cannot go to altar. Do something with this dog and puppies. So the manager, what they did, they throw away the female dog and the puppies from the temple like this,
Right.
make them go out of the temple. And then at around 9:30 or 10 o'clock, Maharaj get to know about that, and he summoned the temple manager. Where did you throw away that female dog and the puppies? Maharaj, you said they were contaminating the environment, so we throw them away. No, they have taken shelter of Krishna. Go and find them and bring them. So 10 o'clock in the night, the temple manager and his staff were searching for that female dog and her puppies to bring her back to the temple. So that was the quality of Maharaj, that he never banishes anyone, no matter who they are. He always has time for everyone, no matter how busy he is. One time I was in Chandigarh Rath Yatra, and I saw him, towards the evening, I saw him walking in the Rath Yatra. He used to do that. He was very personal with people, at Prabhupada's appearance, disappearance day also in Vrindavan. He used to, when devotees were taking Prasada, he used to come there and see everybody. You are getting enough. He used to meet every Prabhupada disciple also. Is your room okay? Are you happy? Is the arrangement okay? And that's when, the temple manager gets the sauce. If anything goes wrong. So in Chandigarh Rath Yatra, I saw him personally, talking. He was walking in the Rath Yatra and personally talking to people. And I saw there was 2-3 young educated people. So Maharaj met them and I asked them, okay, so where are you from? He said, I am from this and this city. Okay. How many colleges you have in your city? This Maharaj. So what is the biggest college? This is the college. Okay. Meet me in the night. Come to my room, and Maharaj asked them to come to my room 9 o'clock or sometime. So later I get to know that Maharaj asked them to go and preach to that college. He was very particular that his disciple must have some engagement. They are not free, they are not just looking around. He has very great compassion, expert manager. Along with management, managing things is easy, but managing people is very difficult. Especially when you get old in ISKCON. So people have their own preferences, and at times leader does not get along. But I guess Gopal Krishna Maharaj was the only leader who was very expert in keeping all the old people together. Those who cannot get along, those who cannot. And Delhi has 18 temples and more than 20,000 devotees. And every temple has unique problems, which only Maharaj was able to control. And despite all that, any devotee, any rank and file devotee can also go to you, approach him and meet him. There was nothing like you cannot meet Maharaj. So this is some of my memories of Gopal Krishna Maharaj.
Did he give you any personal instructions? Did you ever ask him about anything?
No, he doesn't. At least to me, he doesn't give any personal instruction because I was not his disciple.
Right.
But one thing I have is, I didn't have any personal encounter with him except one. Before I came here, Janand Maharaj personally went to Gopal Krishna to meet him and asked that I have a disciple here and I want him to come to Paris. Although he could not, there was no need of doing that. But Janand Maharaj went and personally meet Gopal Krishna Maharaj to seek his permission. So after Maharaj, like it was in February or March. So after General Maharaj came back to Paris, and our temple in Rohini was open on 17th of April, 2024, last year. And just after the temple was open, Gopal Krishna was still there. So, and Maharaj asked that, I want to meet this boy who is going to Paris. So I met Maharaj, and Maharaj told me that although we do not send Indian brahmacharis out of India, but you are an exception.
Wow.
Take care of yourself. So that's the only instruction he gave. He was very personal. He always thanks people. Thank you for your service. But I learned from him that being very personal with devotees and try to speak these 3 golden words: thank you, please, and sorry. Which at times I feel like there is lack in people. Thank you.
Do you have a disciple who's a lady who's a Sikh, who wrote a book about Sikhism? Yeah.
Sikhism, Vaishnavism is Sikhism, something like that.
Yeah. She told the story that he told her to write a book about it, and she didn't think of herself as a writer. I forget what she did. Maybe she decorated the leaves. She did something else that she was really good at, and she did, even though she didn't actually start writing it, or And then he was talking with another devotee and said, my disciple's written a book on Sikhism. And then she realized she had to do it.
That is one of the ways of doing things.
It's like she spent hours a day and something funny, right? So that was interesting.
Radhika Kripa Mata.
Yeah. She came to New York and told that story.
That's his way of pushing people.
Yeah.
How many books you distributed this marathon? Oh, this temple distributed so many books. You lag behind this temple. Increase the competition.
Would you like to say anything yourself? I think this should actually be focused on the people who are talking.
Om Krishna Padaya Krishna Please read the Father Krishna Swami. Rupa, this is a thing of
Maybe you could say your name.
Yeah, myself, Adina Tovidas. So, yes, I was first time I met Guru Maharaj from Puja Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj in 2013. I was in Pune temple, so I'm connected to ISKCON Pune, NBCC. So it was a very brief meeting, but in the first meeting, Maharaj has this very caring nature. So he always asks whether you are properly situated, so you got proper sleep or not. So whenever he meets, so he always checks with his disciples whether they are properly there or not. And this was very touching moment because it was very first time, and I've heard a lot about him, and I read his book, and not his book, like what he wrote. So there's about him. Vande Guru Sri Charana, this one book published, where his activities, his pastimes, his photos are there. So I always wanted to see Maharaj. So I always watched his photo, but could never see for 1 year. So 1 year I saw him first time in Pune, and Pune is also very established temple because the new temple NBCC, so that was inaugurated in 2012. Okay. And after that Maharaj's visit reduced to Pune So because I got to know that because Maharaj had this mode, okay, wherever there is problem, I am there to troubleshoot. That's why he's also called troubleshooter. So he has many names, Bhutanath and troubleshooter, many names. So one of the prominent name is troubleshooter. So he always says, "What will I do in Pune? Everything is settled there." So he always searches for where there is problem so that he can solve. He goes to that temple and solve those problems. So yes, 2013 when I met him for the first time, and in his first meeting it was like five of us. So we were very new. It was a new batch starting teaching in Odisha, and he said us. So we were very new. So we did not complete many of Srila Prabhupada books. It was like very basic books we covered, and he said, "Did you have you read Nectar of Instruction?" So, and I was like, no, I haven't heard of this book. He said, oh, you should read this. So then he said to our counselor that every one of your counselors, they should read this book, Upadeshamrit, yes.
We have in French.
Yes,
Downstairs. I
Upadeshamrit.
got one in our yesterday.
So this letter of instruction, so you should by heart these all verses. By heart in the sense like you should follow these all instructions. So then while returning from Vyasa Puja to Odisha, it's like 36-hour journey. So all of us in a group, we completed that book. So it was very interesting, and I thought like, okay, we should try to follow. So it was like a very standing instruction to all of us, like, okay, we should follow Upadeshamrit instructions very carefully. And then, yes, in Pune, I met very few times, like not much, because when Maharaj used to come to Pune and when we used to go to Pune, so it was not matching much. And yeah, of course, we met during Vyas Puja, and Maharaj used to be very busy because so many devotees are coming, so it's very difficult to get time.
He would have it in one city in India and everybody would
Like 60 to 90 devotees are coming and meeting, so it's very difficult. But yeah, very personal meeting. It's all started in Khargar. It's a new temple which got inaugurated in 2024. Sorry, 25 before I came here. So 2019, it was time when I came to Pune, and Maharaj told a couple of devotees in Pune that you should go to Khargar and do something there because Khargar itself is a very big project. And Maharaj, what I heard, Guru Maharaj's last concern, the biggest concern he had were two temples majorly. One was Khargar and second was Kurukshetra. So Maharaj had this very big concern for these two temples, and Khargar actually it was very huge because the construction started in 2008 and it's been like very long years, like it's been around 17 years. So when I reached, so I heard 2020, 22 it will inaugurate, then 23, then 24. So every time the inauguration date postponed, and finally 25. So Maharaj had a lot of anxiety for Khargar. And other issues were there, but Maharaj used to say that, like, because he used to meet in Khargar, like devotees are there from many temples, from Mira Road, from Pune, from Juhu, many temples, devotees were there. So, and even when we went, Pune devotees, when they went to Khargar, so as usual, we had all the problems and conflicts, and we used to complain, Maharaj, this is not there, that is not there. Then one day, Maharaj told, see, I brought you not to give complaints, I brought you here to solve the problems. So that is the purpose I brought you here. So if you have the same approach what other devotees have, then you can never settle in and solve the problems. And from that day onwards, like devotees were like, no, we will try to first sort it out. And if it is very problematic, then we'll go to Maharaj. So that was what Maharaj inspired us to go. And once it was in 2019 December, so we started a new batch over there, and simultaneously like book distribution also approached December, and we made this placards of book distribution, what Srila Prabhupada said about book distribution. So one of my senior, he said like you could make placards, so it would be nice. So I said okay, I'll make, because anyways I was handling media and department and all those stuff. So I made these all placards, and we put it there on the entrance. So it's like the distance between the entrance and the main temple weighs around like 100 meter, 150 meters. So the whole 150 meter we decorated with the placards of Srila Prabhupada quotation on book distribution. And okay, some senior devotee gave me this task. I made it, I put it, I went back, nothing to give and take. Then somehow Maharaj, after like 15 days, like December 23rd approximately, I don't exactly remember the date, he came. Maharaj suddenly came from Juhu, and he saw, and this was Saturday, and Maharaj saw who made these placards. So yeah, this one devotee, I want to meet that devotee. So, and it was Saturday, and I was assisting another Prabhuji, Brahmachari, in his preaching. So I had to take all the reports of all the devotees who were coming. So I was there in the class, and then suddenly someone said, Maharaj is calling you. So, and I was in a fix because I was in the reception greeting all the devotees, writing down the names, their WhatsApp number, so that they can be contacted. And I asked the senior brahmachari who was above me, what to do? Maharaj is calling and I have to do this task. And he said, don't worry, you do this task. Maharaj will be more happy. So, because he is more happy if his disciples are engaged rather than those. So, and coincidentally, okay, I said anyways, I don't know much about his mood, but that brahmachari knows mood. I could not meet Maharaj. And then after 11 o'clock, like we go, like Maharaj meets all the devotees, and 11 o'clock the whole program ended, and Maharaj, I said like I missed meeting with Maharaj, because like it's very rare to meet personally with Maharaj, and if he calls, so it's a very special moment. I missed it, and till date somewhere I regret I should have met. But then other devotees, there were like 25 brahmacharis there meeting with Maharaj. So I got to know that Maharaj asked, you all are here, what are you doing? How the temple is running? If all of you are sitting beside me, then how you are running the temple? So Maharaj said, then I felt, oh, it's good, like I did not go there. So it was very nice, but somewhere I feel like till date also, like I could have met Maharaj just personally. Then yeah, I did not meet him very personally, obviously in group. And last time before his departure, so 24, I was there in Mumbai for about 6 months or 8 months, because I had my project there. And so at that time, many devotees were not there because of book distribution. So myself and few brahmacharis were there. So one of the personal servant of Guru Maharaj, so he asked, "Can you come for foot massage?" So I said, "Yes, yes, why not?" Like I'll be touching Maharaj so closely for the first time doing foot massage. So I went there at around 10 o'clock. So I was massaging his feet, and while massaging, and he was in so much pain because Maharaj traveled from Juhu to Mira Road to Kharghar, because like Kharghar there was very important meeting in Kharghar. So that's why Maharaj came, and whole day he was traveling. And while massaging his feet, he was, how do you say it, moaning. He was moaning in pain. Like, so whole night, like, Krishna. So he was like whole night he was moaning. So I was feeling like, and then at 11:30 or 12 o'clock, he said, "Who is massaging?" So Maharaj, like the person said, he said, some new devotee is there. So new means Maharaj does not know my name exactly, maybe. So he is there. So Adinath is massaging. Oh, ask him to press hard. So it was my first time. I wasn't doing. I never massaged anyone feet before. So then okay, I was pressing. So now it's good. So 2014, my counselor. So he was massaging his feet. So I remembered his words. So he shared like his name is Jugal Kishore. He's very senior disciple of Puja Gopal Krishna Maharaj. So he was massaging in 2014. He was massaging Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj's feet, and then he asked who is massaging. So he said, your Das, your servant Gopal, Jugal Kishore Das. So, oh, you are a preacher, you are not supposed to massage my feet. So, no, Maharaj, please give me this service. No, 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 massage anyone can do. Message is important. So you have to give message. Message is more important than massage. So then he started, oh yes. So then he started. So I was remembering, so while massaging Maharaj's feet, so I was remembering, yeah, message is very important than massage. So one last pastime, which really touched my heart, I will share this. Whenever you hear Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj talk, it's very simple. It's very simple, and he would hear Srila Prabhupada's. So that's why he said he's Prabhupada's man. So you see, you hear like he will exactly repeat what Srila Prabhupada says. So, but when he would. I heard from devotees, he would hear from different. Like he would ask his disciples to read from commentaries of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Baldev Vidyabhushan. So he would hear from many, but he would only speak whatever Srila Prabhupada spoke. He would only speak that. So his lectures are very simple, correct? And he said like, no, I don't want to. So someone asked about Ramayana to Guru Maharaj, like why his name is Dasarath and what, with many complicated questions from Ramayana. So Guru Maharaj said like, oh, I don't know much about this, but Prabhupada said this thing, so that's why I know this much. Then one of his disciples, he said, Maharaj, you know this, why are you not saying this after the lecture, personally? Then no, I will say only what Srila Prabhupada said. I will repeat those statements. So his favorite pastime is Madhavendra Puri's pastime. Like, I don't know how many times he must have repeated, but at least in Kharga, whenever he comes, he repeats the pastime of Madhavendra Puri. Khirchura Gopinath, how Madhavendra Puri. And that's why, like, how much this Madhavendra Puri, Lord Gopinath, he stealed this kheer for his dear devotees. He would repeat this pastime many times. Many times he would say, narrate the same pastime of Khirchura Gopinath. And sometimes we know like what Maharaj would be saying the next statement. it's very much the same, correct? And interestingly, he had his Puri Yatra, and I think in 2019, I guess, I don't exactly remember. So we all went there, 18 I guess, yes. We all went there to Puri, where he again recited the same pastime, and then suddenly we got to know that at the end of Puri Yatra, he's planning to go to Ramuna, where the Khirchura Gopinath is there, Ramuna's place. So then we also thought like, oh, it's nice. Personally, we'll have meeting with Maharaj, but Maharaj said no, I don't want everyone to come. So Maharaj took only very few disciples, very close disciples to Ramuna. Because like if everyone gets to know, then whole 10,000 people will jump in. Ramuna, it's a small village, right? It's not possible to handle. So he went to Ramuna, and ironically, this temple was also closed. He reached in the afternoon, and the temple was closed. And but when he came, the pujari in that temple, he kept 2 pots of kheer, which is personally served to Gopinath. He kept it. So then Maharaj said, like, we never told anyone, even his disciples, they never told the pujari to keep the kheer for like one of his dear devotees. Correct? So then one of his disciples told Maharaj, you always recite this pastime of Khirchura Gopinath, where Gopinath personally hid this kheer, the sweet rice for his dear devotee Madhavendra Puri. And you see now, this time Gopinath kept this pot of kheer for you. Because like no one was knowing that Maharaj was going to come there in Ramuna. But Maharaj hold his disciples' hand and he said, please don't tell this pastime to anyone. Don't tell this thing to anyone. But now it's like word of mouth. So gradually, devotees got to know from different disciples. But Maharaj insisted, please don't tell this thing to anyone. Otherwise, like people will misunderstand and extrapolate things. Right? But this is very sweet pastime he has. So one thing, what very important thing we got to know is his simplicity. Like he meditated so much on this pastime of Madhavendra Puri and stealing of sweet rice. So, and that's why Lord personally performed this pastime with him. So there are many, it won't end. So of course, yeah, devotees enter into the glorification ceremony in Delhi and other places. I am a very how do you say, insignificant disciple. I always fear going close to Guru Maharaj. I don't know why, but I'm very scared of. But somewhere when devotees take me, then I feel a bit courage to stand in front of him and talk. But otherwise, his purity is so much it's very difficult. Hare Krishna. So I
Thank you for telling
because
so many
all the
things.
devotees, so that even I follow part of his instructions in fulfilling mission of Srila Prabhupada. So he always says the same what Srila Prabhupada tells, cooperate. So he always says cooperate amongst devotees. So that is the only thing. So many times he see discontent amongst devotees. So he's really sad. He always says what Prabhuji said the past time of he never throws any devotees out.
Right.
So one of his mood is he said this in a personal meeting I don't want to be cause of anyone's spiritual death. So he always, and that rings in mind whenever in our small setup of base. So sometimes we feel we should not allow this devotee to remain in our system, right, because he's creating chaos. So at that time I used to remember Maharaj's instruction, look, I don't want to be the cause of anyone's spiritual death. So it's very difficult to imbibe this mood, but I don't know how we can do this. But yeah, even a fragment of his instructions, if we imbibe, so my life especially will be very successful. Shri Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Shri Prabhupada ki jai.
Have you been to that temple he's talking about in Ramuna? Have you been to Ramuna? I've been to Ramuna. It's great. I got 7 pots of sweet rice. I think I ate 3 and brought 4 to Mayapur, but they went bad on the way, unfortunately.
It's
Yeah.
always the case.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a special place though. They dress the deities with the curtains open so you can watch them. Yeah. And then the tomb, the samadhi of Vasudevananda is there in the courtyard. Special place. It's on the way between the Navarit and the Puri. So I just got off the train and then I went back, but I didn't have a ticket on the next train, you know. But there's a group of devotees from the Chennai, led by Bhamaswami, and they just let me hang out with them. So they gave me prasadam and gave me a seat on the train. And I was seeing some researchers out of Buddha, and I got to interview Banu Maharaj and ask him some questions. That was fun. Yeah. If you ever get a chance, if you're going between Puri and Navarit, I'll stop in. Thank you. His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Samaveda Bhaktivinoda ki, Kadashri Bhakti ki. Welcome. Krishna Kripa.
Jai.
Thank you for telling all those details.